So in the art lesson today, we're going to do some drawing, but we're not going to draw so much with the traditional pencil. We're going to draw with scissors, which is a term which was created by the artist Henry Matisse. And he did lots of very bright, colourful landscapes, cats, all sorts of things using scissors. And he would just cut straight into it and move it about to create a picture. There's also a contemporary artist as well. Martinez, who I'm going to talk about in the slides, Jose Martinez, and he did some amazing faces. Now, you need really to have something to look at, I think, unless you're very imaginative. So whatever it is, if you've got a nice drawing that you can just use for an idea, whatever it is, related to your theme, you can use that just to look at. And then you need a blank piece of paper as your base, okay? And you're going to put the coloured papers on top. You should have some coloured papers. I have given you some. If you've lost it, you can just cut up bits of packaging, will work. Like I said, you may want to just sketch some basic shapes there, because you don't want it as detailed as a normal face like that. So you could just decide, roughly what kind of shape things are. And you can change the size and shapes a little bit. So it doesn't have to be perfectly symmetrical like a normal face, or in perspective if you're doing a street scene or whatever. Quite quickly, I want you to get in and start cutting with the paper, and you can be quite angular with it. Just give it a go, cut it out and lay it down. Okay, so try and use a few shapes across the picture using similar colours. So if you're using the blue, you could use it up there as well. Use variety of line as well, so some thicker and some thinner bits. Don't be too precious with it, because like I said, you can always move things about later. They don't have to stay in place. In fact, when you get to the end of the task, I actually want you to send in a few photographs as alternatives. Okay, it might be a case sometimes of cutting some shapes and laying them underneath whatever it is you drew in the first place. If you get a bit stuck, have a look through. There are lots of examples in the slides as well, and play with it, as you're going through. Decide actually maybe you want things a bit differently. We're not going to glue it down till nearer the end anyway, so you've got time to change things about a little bit. When you get in your comfort zone and you're kind of getting in the swing of it, just make yourself think outside the box. You've heard that saying, when you do things a bit differently like that. To make it look really original, I'll put some little eyes here. Okay, so yeah, Matisse would call it drawing with scissors, because rather than over planning everything, sometimes you're just creating these random shapes and seeing what works and what doesn't work, deciding as you lay it down what you're going to keep and what you're going to change. Cross it like that. Okay. Is it beginning to look like a face? That's what I'm making. Some colours will stand out more than others, so you can decide what is your dominant colour and how many darker, how many lighter colours you use. And this is going to take you a fair amount of time. Now, when you've built it up a bit, then you can start taking your pictures and deciding, are you going to move it about or leave it as it is? But don't use a whole rainbow of colours, but try and use at least 3 or 4 different variations so we can see some contrast. And like I said, packaging and things like that is totally fine. Okay. Right, I'm nearly done for now. I'm going to spend some more time just working on this with the video off. But I look forward to seeing your paper cut picture. Okay, have a good lesson.